Welcome. I want to talk about the adoption or the slow adoption of Android 13. There are some reports that came out on the developer page of Android, and it's kind of shocking, especially for people like me and I'm sure you, that are always on the cutting edge as far as your device and the software that you're running. Now, on my Pixel, obviously have beta software, so I'm always going to have the latest up-to-date software. And on the Samsung S23 Ultra, which I'm recording on, have very good updates. They are always right behind Google. In some months, they beat Google to the punch with the updates. Now, this Google Pixel update, the feature drop for this month is actually late. Supposed to come out yesterday, and it's still, as of right now, my wife and daughter, we all checked our phones and there is no update as of now. It's Tuesday. Every now and then Google will be late a little bit, but I want to get into these numbers because it's pretty shocking. There is a new report that came out. Well, it's actually Google released the data. Now, I don't want to be reading while I'm driving, which I don't advise anybody to do, but I'm pulling up to a red light. So check this out. Android 13 says more users have downloaded Android 13 now than ever, and it says the percentage of Android devices, now this is worldwide, is up 3% on Android 13. So it says, check this out, y'all gonna not believe this. This is crazy. It says Android 11 is still the most widely used operating system globally. Now that includes everybody's cell phone, because globally there's more Android devices than iPhone devices. It says, so Android 11 is still the most widely used operating system in the world. Mainly that's because most Android users are in countries that are highly populated. India, China, places like that, even Pakistan, people are using cheap Android devices, meaning older Motorola devices, even cheaper OnePlus devices that don't update that often. It says the Android 11 is at 23% of Android devices are running Android 11. That's the largest percentage of operating systems on Android in the world. And it says Android 10 is still on 17%. So let's see, Android 13 is on 15% of phones, and it says Android 12 is on 16% of phones. So there's the large majority of devices are on Android 11, 12, and 13, with 11 being the biggest number of users. And what did I say? Android 13, Android 12 is at 18%. And what was Android 13? It's hard to do when I'm driving. But you get the point, you get the idea. But that's kind of, listen, with the security being a huge factor, mainly, look, here in the first world countries, obviously it's a huge factor worldwide. But here in America, it's a enormous factor. It's an enormous issue. You want to be on the absolute latest software possible with the most up-to-date security patch, because you don't want to get caught with a zero-click attack. If you don't know what those are, I did videos about those in the past. It was made famous when Jeff Bezos, Amazon head of Amazon, his phone got hacked with a zero-click attack where you basically, well, his is the older version. The newer zero-click attacks You don't have to push anything. The scammers or the bad guys, the hackers, just have to have your cell phone number and they infect your phone. The one Jeff Bezos got infected with, his phone got infected with a couple years ago. You had to click on a photo, and once you click on the photo, it'll download into your phone. Now, nothing. So, however, Samsung on the new S23 series has a new feature that blocks zero-click attacks, and the upcoming automatically. And the Pixel 8 that's going to be released here soon is going to have a feature that's going to block zero-click attacks on the hardware side. The Pixel, the newer software versions, the Pixel 7 with the latest security patch has the block in the software side, but the brand new Pixel 8 and the S23 Ultra are going to have the zero-click attacks on the hardware side. Bunch of gibberish, but the main thing is updates. That's one of the plus and minuses between iPhone and Android. Not necessarily plus and minus, but a good comparison. A good head-to-head comparison and debate about who's got the safest and most secure device. I tend to say Android, however, with the caveat that you need a brand new, basically flagship device with the most up-to-date and latest, not only security patch, but hardware. The hackers, not to say that they don't go after Android devices, but many of the worldwide hackers just focus on iPhone because a large majority of the targets that these hackers pinpoint, meaning people that they are trying to hack or want to hack, are in the United States, because the average person has more money and has more money to lose. So, and the majority of high-end people that have money to lose are iPhone users. So, a large majority of the hackers are just focusing on iPhone attacks. That's why, because there's only one software, there's basically one phone. Yes, there's a 14, a 14 Plus, but all those iPhone 14s use the same code. All of the iOS 16, 17 now they came out, use the same code. So the hackers don't have to modify their attack 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, because on Android you have a Samsung, which I'm filming on, you have a Google Pixel, you have a OnePlus phone, you have Motorola, you have all these devices that you have to modify the code for your attack if you're a hacker. So it's a hassle for them. So that's why a lot of them just focus on the iPhone side, iOS side. But with this report that came out, it's just shocking, because there's another report that came out. We have Android boxes. If you know what those are, they were very popular as of even just a couple years ago. It's a box. It looks like an Amazon box. It's about this size. It looks like the Mac Mini, right? Like a rectangle or a square that's about 2 inches tall and about 6 inches each way in diameter. We used to use Android boxes and would have these Kodi on it where you can watch these movies, free pay-per-view. I can watch all boxing that I want. I haven't paid for a boxing fight on pay-per-view in probably 8 years, because everything I get's free. So it's like the Amazon Fire Stick that a lot of people have. Ours is like that, except it's like on steroids. The Amazon Fire Stick's got the little specs and all this. Ours have a ton of. I used to get the specced out one. It was like $200. Get it from China. Now there's a report that came out that says basically all of those boxes have malicious apps pre-installed to spy on you. So that brings up another thing. What we did, if you do have an Android box, even if you have a Fire Stick and you downloaded an app that was not on the Amazon App Store, like if you sideload an app, I would either one of two things. Clear all your data off of there, or three things. Clear all your data off there, start over, don't use any side-loaded apps. Only use apps from the Play Store or from the Amazon App Store. 2, I would use a throwaway junk email address that you sign into everything to, and don't load any personal information, payment information, bank information, personal photos, videos on that email account, or have that email account you're signed into. Don't associate it with any cloud information. You basically create a fictitious email or an email you're just going to use to sign into that device. Now, I know it's hard because Amazon wants you to sign in with the Prime stuff, but that's up to you how you want to do that. What I did is, eventually I had my official email address that I have all my stuff tied to, all my accounts, all my bank accounts, cards, cloud information, everything was signed in on these apps because I associate that with the Google Play Store, which signed in on these boxes. So once I saw that, I took my account off, I wiped the device, I factory reset it, then I signed in with a junk email, and we're just going that route. Oh, excuse me, but just recently, we did that for about a month or so, and then just recently I said, you know what, I'm going to get rid of them. We got rid of them, and now I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S22, just a little small version, but I have a DeX. I put it in DeX mode, and we leave it at home. I have a dock for it. We have a dock phone next to each TV, put a dock, and we basically sideload the movie apps, all the Kodi, all that stuff on these phones. Now, Samsung updates their devices once a month, just like Google. Now, they update their security patch once a month, and they're on par with Google. They don't update the software as fast as Pixel and Google does, because this Pixel will get Android 14 here in just a few months. And Samsung they'll be like, with their software, with Android 13, 14, 15, they're usually 3 to 5 months behind Google, but they're still up to date monthly with security patches. So you can still roll security patches out. It's just the version of software that they update, Samsung is a little bit behind, but that's not a big deal. The security patch is the main issue that you need to worry about. So the point of this video is I want to make sure everybody is aware of what Android operating system you're on. If you have any devices logged in at home, please think about how you're signed in, and please double check and update any device you have, phone, a TV, even if that's signed into your Gmail, because they can get into your account through your TV. If you're logged into a Samsung TV at home and you're logged into your main email account, they can get into your account that way. Trust me, they're like roaches, and they find their way into something. So you have to be very careful. Think about where you're signed in on what devices, and if a device is old or you haven't. We updated my grandpa, I think my mom too, like I was saying in some previous videos, to the Pixel 7a this year. We got a few of them, and upgraded everybody. My grandpa had an old at&t phone. It was using at&t messages. It had not been updated in maybe a year. And I mean, chances of him, look, you never know. It's probably small, but still, if it happens to you, it's a pain in the ass. It's just better you check for updates. If you have an old device that's getting slow updates, upgrade. You can get it cheap. Look, I'm not a fan of the Pixel 6a. But you can get one right now for like $150. Seriously. And I'm not talking about the Play Store. I think they have them on sale for $299. Get on eBay, you can get one for $178, $168, something like that. So, and though that gets the latest software just as fast as my 7 Pro. So there's ways to protect yourself and not spend that much money. I'll link this article in the description box for y'all that want to catch up on this information. But just please be careful and make sure your device is. Look, Pixel is the very best Android device for security. And now I say that because you'll get the latest software and security patch. Boom. If something new comes out for Android, it's coming to Pixel first. That's why it's good to be a Pixel owner. The very second best phone is the flagship, not the little A series that you get at Boost Mobile or something like that. I'm talking about a flagship Samsung device, an S23 device. The next best device to get is the flagship Samsung Galaxy S23, because you'll get the same security patches. Like I said, sometimes they beat Google to the security patch because Google releases these security patches a month earlier. So if you're saying, well, how do they beat Google? Well, Google sends these patches out a month before we get them to let Samsung go through all the code, implement what they need to implement for their devices, and then they roll them out at the beginning of every month. So sometimes that's how Samsung beats Google issuing their security patch, is that they've had them for a month. So sometimes they just sit there for a week, and the developers, the security departments, just twiddling their fingers, ready to hit the enter button to send them out at the first of the month. So the only thing Samsung is behind that doesn't meet Pixel security is the software updates. Like I said, Android 14 was going to roll out in a couple months. Samsung's not going to update their devices till about, let's see, the new versions of Android come out in about midsummer, late summer, midsummer, August, something like that. And then their new Pixels come out in September. So Android 14 will come out in August. Pixel 8 will come out in September or October. I think it's one of the two. And but then Samsung won't update their S23 Ultra until about the first of the year, and then they roll out their new series in February. So there will be, if you want the very latest and greatest software, secured, up to date, go with the Pixel. But don't feel like you can't get a, I still feel very secure with the Samsung, even though it's a few months behind rolling out Android 14. The security patches are still there, and that's the main thing, is this security patch. For security, the security patch trumps the Android version software. You would like for them to be, neck and neck, but that's why we have Pixel. But Samsung, you really can't go wrong with them because their security patches are up to date. So think security, think of what you have in your home connected. Even a smart home hub, a Google hub, make sure you check updates once a month. Make sure you have automatic updates on. If you have an Android box, double check that. If you have a Amazon Fire Stick, check that. Just go over everything in your home. You can never be, more, you can never check all the, too much, basically, So just think about the devices you have in your home, smart TVs, all that stuff. Even if it runs on Amazon, like they have the Amazon Fire TV that runs on Android, they are not good with security patches because they have the same access to the security patches and software version of Android TV, but it's still Android, that Samsung does and that other companies do. They're not good about rolling out software updates or security updates, patches. So if you have a Fire TV, I suggest you review the account you're signed into, and if it's tied into your main account that's on your phone, take it off. Throw in a throwaway email. If you have to make a junk email, make a junk email. It doesn't take but 5 seconds now. You can do it from your phone. You can sign in to a new Gmail account on your phone. Look, check this out. So if you want to make a real quick junk email, go to, and this will work on anything, on any Fire TV. Now Samsung, unless it's a Google TV Samsung uses their own software. It's not Android based. It's not Android TV based. That's why, if you're signed in to your email account on your phone with that same email account signed in your Samsung TV, that's why you have to be careful, because that's how they can download apps for your TV on the little TV app store. They can get to your inside your accounts through that to your phone, because look, when you're at home, you're connected to your TV through Wi-Fi, through Bluetooth. They can communicate through all of that, so they can jump from your account that's on your TV through the Wi-Fi, through the Bluetooth into your phone, and extract information that way. They're very clever. I mean, they're really smart. They just use their cleverness and being smart and having an IQ for obviously negative reasons, which is not good for you and me, but they are very smart. It's always a cat and mouse game. So look, real quick before I let y'all go to settings on any device. Well, I take that back. On any Android-based device, whether Android TV, Android phone, even a Fire TV will have the same basic settings, because again, Amazon TV is based on Android. That's why when you sideload an app, it's an APK app, which you can sideload APKs on here. So go to Let's see. Yeah, go to the settings app, and then go to passwords and accounts. I think and then you have all your Google accounts right there. So go to settings, passwords and accounts, and then you'll have all your Google accounts right there. So you can sign in and make a new email address there, or you can go to your Gmail account app. So go to Gmail, go into settings for your Gmail, scroll all the way down to settings, and then at the very bottom it'll say add an account. Now, do you want to see how many email accounts I have? Check this out. Those are all email accounts. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's just what's signed into my phone. I have probably about 15 or 16 accounts. So it is a pain in the ass to keep up with, but it is what it is. So I got a password keeper, so whatever. But anyways, just wanted to think about security, and please double check your devices, and make sure you're running the latest and greatest. And if you have any flaws, please see what you can do to correct it. So I'll check with y'all later. Peace.